Hello, it's another Binge Bitches on a Friday afternoon. We are so happy because Housewives are back. Bravo is kind of back up and running, sorta, kind of. So anyways, let's get into it. We are bringing in the friends. We have Ms. Vanderpump joining us today.
Hello.
Hello. And we also have this little ragamuffin. She ain't working today.
Your favorite San Diego ragamuffin.
Why does your shirt say "Ot Hen Tip"?
It says authentic.
Oh, okay.
And it's in the trans colors.
I like it.
It's cute. I got it at Target, girl. $12.
12?
That's a deal.
Yeah, super cute, right?
I'm so into that. I got like a pride scarf from there last year, like a trans pride scarf last year, and so it was so cute.
So cute.
So how are you boys doing?
Good.
Yep. Back to normal.
I'm waiting to get shut down. I know Gunther's like they got shut down because they closed PEX, but I'm just waiting for restaurants to do it again. So we'll see. I mean, I was surprised we haven't done it this weekend yet, but I guess we'll wait till after this weekend to see what everyone's got. So.
I kind of like wish that they would have shut San Diego down just for the weekend because we got a lot of people in that.
Well, a lot of people from out of town and out of state too. Like my Uber driver said he picked up people from like Texas and Colorado. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Wow.
This is dangerous, yo. Like these people, they don't get it. And the thing is like, and we were kind of starting to control our stuff. And not to get political, but to be political, like we have the only beaches that are open in the state right now. So like, or the beaches that you want to be at in the state.
The governor should have looked at that though too. That he should have been like, hey, like we closed all these other beaches down, but San Diego's the only one open. I mean, come on, Orange County is like an hour away from us at most, you know? So it's like, they should have really looked at that and been like, okay, we're going to close the beaches down. Yeah, you're right, for this weekend. But they didn't, so.
Yeah, there's lots of people. I have a friend who lives near one of these other beaches and who, I don't want to give away too much because I don't want them to be like, you talked about me. But anyways, she, like where she lives is like really nice. And like she has, the people are Airbnb-ing on like the sides of her and they rented the places out or whatever. I don't even know if that's even completely legal right now. But she, what do you call it? She was basically saying that they had like this whole family there and nobody was wearing masks, and she knows that a lot of them weren't even like family who lived together because they were all joining like, hey, you're from out of town, you know? And it's like, oh, they're just commingling. Pick your bubble, people. Get a social bubble and stick with that, okay? Because if we're in this for the long haul, get yourself some homies, and that's it. Like, and trust your homies. Like, that's really what it's gonna have to be for this long haul.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so not to be political, let's get into some. Let's talk about some gossip that's happening right now, BBs. So, we passed around this other note earlier this weekend that on Real Housewives of Atlanta, we might be getting a Monique. That's like a big deal. Like this girl, like. She's an Oscar winner. Hello, like that legitimizes the series in a whole new way. And she's during that. She has like that whole fallout with Netflix right now. So I don't know if did you guys see that? Did you read that in the past? So Monique was having this issue that they were basically going to pay her pennies for a Netflix special, whereas you know all these other people, these big comics, and like Amy Schumer who came after her was being paid bank. And she basically looked at it as like, you know, and this is way before George Floyd. This was like a couple of years ago. And so that's part of that. And so the thing is now she's finding herself a little home more on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't hate it. We do need a bit of a matriarch on there because Nene hasn't stepped up in a while. Like Nene is just
she's tired.
Nene's tired. She's boring. And she has the biggest paycheck across all the franchises.
Well, that's
she
the
made
thing.
more than
probably is just like collecting that paycheck. She's like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit on the bench here for a minute. I'm gonna make my coins, and y'all can start the drama. Because I mean, if we think about it too, she was the one who started the drama in the beginning. Her and Kim Zolciak, they were the ones that were doing everything. So she's probably just
an
tired
all-star
at this
for a
point.
reason.
She's like, fuck it, I got my stuff. Like, remember she told the girls that too a long time ago. She's like, we sat on this couch so y'all could crawl. Remember, like at the reunion, like I think when it was Portia first came on the show, she was just
But here's the thing: if you aren't gonna wrap it up, and if you aren't gonna step out, then you're gonna ruin your legacy. That's what this is about. The
Yeah.
thing
That's
is
true.
you were only as good as your last episode. Because
Yeah.
the thing is right now we can argue that about all these other shows. Like Kyle used to be the shit. Right now she's just whatever. And like, you know, and Ramona was amazing a couple seasons ago, and right now we're just kind of like, okay, what are you doing? Are you in this? Are you locked
we need
in?
a people doing coke in your bathroom moment, you know? Do you talk about the strippers with Charlie and the girls? We need that. So, but we're not getting it.
And Nene's not willing to do that anymore. She's not willing to really like be part of. She's not willing to be part of the mess, but she's still messy. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't want to get in with the girls, and when she does, it's a little thing. So not to talk about Nene, because the thing is, it is about Monique, and let's hope that she gets on there. I think it would be cool. And then you also got Candy with Grammys. Like that would be the most like, you know, metal cast.
Yeah,
like
they're definitely getting a little starish there, which is great. So
yeah, it gives them like more legitimacy, more star power. It's cute. So besides that, I want to think, okay, so I also wrote on here, we've been talking about Elise on social media. I know I sent you guys a picture that Elise put out. And so if y'all haven't seen, check out Elise's IG, that she does this whole thing where she just she's coming for Ramona. And if you see what the conversations are and where the alliances are, it's kind of a Jorinda, Elise, Leah thing happening. And then I think Sonia's kind of in this weird spot. Ramona's on the outs. And then that leads also to, so Elise posted a picture the other day for people who haven't seen, who aren't in our little chat room, that Elise, she put out a picture the other day of a scene from Disney's Snow White, where it's the witch giving her the apple. And so the apple is so on point with New York. I mean, like the branding is amazing. Right. Chef's kiss. I mean, it works so perfect for Real Housewives of New York.
It was too perfect.
Oh my God, it is. And it's the old woman, she's handing her the apple, and it's like when your friend invites you on to Real Housewives. And it's like, ooh. And we know that she's like, in this episode just kind of rolled it out that Elise and Ramona are not on each other's side right now. I think this might give Elise staying power, you know what I mean? And so there's a little thing going on in there. So it's I think it's going to be interesting to see how that all unravels. And then there's been a whole like other sideline chat going on too, and we can talk about this in a little bit. But Avery Singer is like all of a sudden in the mix, you know what I mean? Like she is like, and she's of age. Bitch is like 24, 25 years old. So Leah is coming for her, and even tweeted at the beginning of this whole thing, when we first went into lockdown, we went into quarantine back in March, is when the conversation started between Leah and Ramona, like on Instagram, and then also Jorinda was kind of chiming in, so it was becoming this big thing between everybody. And Leah basically took a swipe at her and was like, look, you know, I'm not trying to flex down in Miami during a world pandemic while a race riot is going on. And that's what you're doing. Like, so Leah just went after her. And then she was basically like, and don't bring your daughter into this because she's a full grown adult at 25 years old. So she can take me on, sweetie. So that's Leah was like, she threw the gauntlet down, and Avery's coming back. And then, I mean, we'll get into it with the episode recap, but we also have that moment, you know, where Avery's like, ugh, about Elise. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in the background of that confessional. So we're seeing something else while people are in quarantine doing these confessions. So it's a little bit, I'm trying to see here. So basically, Avery posted, she was posting photos of Leah from like the show when Leah was a big mess and she was saying shit about her. And so now Leah's on for this family. Now, if we can keep Ramona for one more season, I would not mind if they brought Avery on as another housewife. It would be our first mother-daughter housewife duo because it'll be everybody versus them. It'll be perfect.
What does she have to offer, though, to the show, though? You know, because all these other women are so much older. I mean, are we going to get them like a younger demographic coming in?
She's spicy.
Is she a housewife? Is she married?
I think the thing about New York is that I think they've gotten so far away from the housewife thing that everybody is just a single woman living her life.
That's
you know what I mean?
None of them are really married right now. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So they can lean into that, you know. And the thing is we need some younger blood if you're gonna have Leah in there. So like next year they're gonna have to cast a couple new ones. Like, and so I've been missing too because I've been watching the old seasons, like, you know, and I admitted it finally that yes, I'm on Gunther's side. I miss Heather Thompson. Like, I'm down for Heather Thompson to come back. Except she's coming back. She's coming back this season. Leah's already talked about it. And Leah
Heather's
and
coming
Heather.
back? She's just gonna be like a friend of the show.
She goes to the Berkshires apparently, because Heather has a place that's like 5 minutes down the road from Jorinda's. And so, and apparently at the Berkshires episode, you saw that she was like, well, Tinsley's not coming. That frees up a room. That room might very in fact be held by Heather Thompson. So, and I would not mind if they bring her back. She's sober and she's with it. And we need somebody to tether everybody down, because the cast is wild right now. Like, there's nobody who's got like a real handle on reality, and it's starting to scare me a little bit, because it's like, what are we doing with the show? Because it's going to be like, next season's going to be like Celebrity Rehab. Like, what is happening?
Well, yeah, with Sonia, but definitely for sure, because that woman cannot control her alcohol at all.
Not at all. But like, she was partying. Like, she's like, what was I doing? I was getting lit. What else do you do with your hair and makeup? You know? And the thing was, she was in that car already. We're gonna bounce around this episode. We don't have to do the recap right straight through. But she was in that car, and she was like, she was already. And then the black eye makeup made it even better, because she's.
Yeah.
She was mean. Like, I can. When those memes come out, I cannot wait.
They were asking, right? They're like, where was she at before she came here? Because she should have just went to bed. They're like, she's not gonna make it to dinner, and I'm like, what do you mean she's not gonna make it to dinner? And then you see her, and you're like, yeah, no, she's not gonna make it to dinner.
She was tore up. Like, the thing was, she was just eating the whole time. And she was like just constantly. There was a whole bowl of like gumbo or something in front of her that she was taking the ladle, and she didn't have a spoon. She didn't have a bowl. She had a plate. She was putting gumbo on a plate, and like, I mean, like, she is there. So this is crazy. Okay, so one of the things that we have this season right now in season 12, we are back from the hiatus. In the second half, we know that we've been quarantined, and we're also seeing a little bit of a pullback of like what the fourth wall is, because they record their testimonials so far later. You know what I mean? And so, and right now, what we're getting to is that so these testimonials are being recorded while they're having even deeper fights. So I think they're getting even more spicy, because they can't handle each other. Like, they're kind of going for each other in the testimonials. So we get a first ever in Housewives history, a new tagline for the new bunch. So
mid-season we get new taglines, which it's pretty cool.
I did like them. I think. Do you guys like them?
Yeah, I don't mind them.
I do. I liked Leah's first one though better.
Yeah, Leah's first one. No, her new one is a little bit like, okay, we get it, little girl. Like, she should have been like, it was almost like, can you keep your old one? Like, can I keep it? You know what I mean? Like,
Luann's is my favorite.
Yeah. So we have Sonia, who says, "I'm no one's arm candy. I'm the whole bowl of sugar." And like, while she says it, you can kind of see her shoulders moving in your mind. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy. We only have 5 of them. Oh, I'm sorry. Jorinda starts first. She's like, "I mention my mouth. I can be a bit fresh." I don't think, okay, I like it, but I like the one before. "I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong." You know what I mean? Like, if she used to yell. So we have Ramona now. I like Ramona. So what if I'm self-involved? Who else should I be involved with? And then but I love, and like the scroll there on the credits, she's like dancing like her herky-jerky Elaine dance, like, because she dances like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So watch the opening credits next time, and you'll see Ramona's like Elaine from Seinfeld like dance. Leah's new line is, I'll say sorry for what I've done, but never for who I am." And it's like, okay, crazy, we get it, you're crazy. So you don't have to apologize for being crazy.
Yeah.
So. And Luann's, "I rise above the drama, and I won't settle for the lower level." And her deep voice. So, and it's so like conscious of everybody. That was like the best line so far of the season. It's her new, "Why are you not being cool? Why are you being all uncool? You know what I mean? It's like, it's that new thing.
Yeah.
So loving it. We have this new thing. So the girls all go at this point to go get costumes. So we're going into the Halloween party. This is like
we're going to Spirit.
Yeah. It's our first Halloween that we're not in the Berkshires in a long time. You know, like last year they even ended up there just a little bit right after the Halloween. I remember the year where Jorinda had the Bethany crying on her porch. Like she had a statue of Bethany. So they go to the costume shop. We have it was jarring here in the beginning because it was like, oh, what are we getting ourselves into? We thought they were re-editing. And then all of a sudden Luann shows up and she looks like me on StreamYard. It is no longer like a nice, like pretty show. It's just like Luann in her house with this big echo. And she's like, well, like, and you're like, oh, we're here now. So everything is post-quarantine, everything is in pandemic, and they are keeping the show alive. So costume shop with Leah, Luann, Jorinda. Now Jorinda's focusing on Ramona. Tinsley is gone. She needs somebody else that she can be angry with. And so she's just like, okay, Ramona, you're next. And it's been a while since Jorinda and Ramona have really been at odds. I think the last time that they were really this angry with each other was back when Ramona did that thing at the bra party when she was like, so John's running around telling everybody that you guys go out, get really fucked up. He does the Viagra and then fucks you all night long. So that's, so were you around for this, Nelson? Did you
No, I wasn't around for that, but that's great.
See, I got to give you cliff notes for some of this shit. So this is like season, it was season 8 because it was the season where Ramona's being good, and it's actually what I just finished. So season 8 was like, it was the return of Bethany, and Bethany is first back on the scene, and they're having a lingerie party over at Jorinda's, and she's at a, they get this hotel room. Well, John is supposed to pick up Jorinda at like 9 o'clock, and he wasn't really supposed to come into the room. Well, there was this whole fight that was going on between Bethany and Jorinda because Bethany was saying that you're trying to sell John on us too much. Like, just let John be your guy, but he doesn't have to always be with us every single week. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like a PK, those husbands that overstep. Well, that was kind of John. And then John was just big and sweaty and just always in the mix. So they had this whole like fight, but then during that fight, Ramona just kind of speaks up and she was like, well, my friends were saying last time that you guys were out, John was smoking on the curb with a bunch of people. And he was saying that you guys get really fucked up at night. He takes you home, does Viagra, and fucks you all night. So this is something that Ramona says in front of the whole group, and it became a whole thing because Jorinda's like, why are you doing this in front of people? You should tell me these kind of things behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, pull back. And so we haven't had this kind of a fight between Jorinda and Ramona in a while, and it's going to be ugly. I think this is going to get really ugly this season because they're still not talking. So last week, Jorinda and Sonia had gotten stuck going to the party planner, Larry. Did you watch that, Nels?
This week's episode?
Did you watch last week?
Last week.
No, I didn't know they had a new episode last week. So,
or not last week, the week before, like whenever a couple of weeks ago. Time is irrelevant.
So, yeah, no, I'm pretty caught up. So.
Okay, yeah. So the whole thing where Larry, the party planner, had they went out to his place, and Ramona basically kidnapped Sonia and Jorinda, and she's like, she takes them there, doesn't want any of their input for the parties. Jorinda was thinking, oh, she's bringing us out here because she's gonna surprise Sonia with, we're gonna have a party for the two of us. It's a day after Ramona, like Sonia's real birthday, apparently. Like how this kind of falls in the timeline because Ramona and Sonia have very close birthday dates. And so basically Jorinda kind of gave her like this thing. At first it felt awkward, like last week when we were watching, or a couple weeks ago when we had seen this, when the pickup was, that Jorinda was kind of being shady by like, hey, why aren't you throwing this party for Sonia at the same time? But now when you kind of look at it, it's like you took these people an hour outside the city, kept them captive for 3 hours, talked about a party, never took anybody's suggestion, so they didn't really even need to be there. And then you don't want to share the party with your friend, and you're making up this thing that it's your coming out party as single when you've been single for 5 years, Ramona. Like, what do you mean you're coming out as single? So, like, it's a whole layer here. And then the other layer on top of this is these bitches get paid to post. Like, I know some of these, you know, they get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for one single post on Instagram. Wow. And this guy got 3 housewives in a picture for his company and is not giving anything back to Jorinda or Sonia. And so Jorinda is basically feeling used. And so, you know, she tells Leah and she tells Luann when they're sitting there. We had a flash to Leah's new confessional at home. So Leah's they're all on Zoom call confessionals. I think it's kind of crazy. But Leah did no glam. She did glam from her hair, but then she was like, let me throw on this old Married to the Mob sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like,
I was trying to figure out what those initials were. I was like, what is this? I don't know what this is.
Her brand.
I'm not
It's her brand.
Figure it out. Oh, it's her brand.
MTTM, Married to the Mob.
That is insane. Okay, yeah, I was like, girl, I don't know. I was like, I gave up.
She's slow, people. She's
That's
slow.
Cute. Good for her. I like that. That's a cute brand.
Yeah, it's her brand, and she's had it since, like, you know, she's had it for a while. So the thing is like, you know, she's been successful with it.
That's how she got that apartment that has the nail on the wall that she hangs her purse on.
Exactly. That's how she got that $2,000 apartment, her IKEA apartment, where she's sitting in
her
front
IKEA
of
apartment. Yeah.
Like, come on, girl. So my camera's like, okay. So, anyways, like I'm on TikTok. Anyways, Tinsley's gone. We get reminded Tinsley's bye-bye. She's living her best life now with Scott.
Hey, can we start Housewives of Chicago now, please? And tell them, let's get on this. Let's get on.
I mean, seriously, like let's give us this. But she looks happy, and she's still with Scott. I mean, they're stuck together now because they're quarantining. But like, she got the two doggies out there. It's like it's happening. I love Jorinda though at this point where she's like, you know, like all the animals can't always get along. It's like tigers and rabbits. Sometimes they're gonna scamper away. That's because you're a mean tiger, Jorinda. That's why she scampered away. Like, you were mean. Like, she was like taking swipes at her the whole fucking season. So it's something. Then they flip over to Ramona, and she's now in a solo scene. This is not good, Ramona. You are putting yourself on the outs. You are going to push yourself out of the show. Yeah. I have a feeling Ramona is right now the longest living housewife since Vicky's gone.
Since Vicky's gone, yeah, for sure.
Vicky and Tamara are gone, so they each had a year on her. Or Vicky had 2 years on her, and Tamara had 1. And then so Ramona's the longest living, which means that she's probably one of the higher paid. You know, so you really gotta,
because Nini's been there for a while too, but Nini left and came back though, right? So
yeah, but then you also have Nini got more clout because she left and did like Ryan Murphy TV and shit. Yeah. So that right there, that just puts her in a new bracket, like it's a new payment bracket. You know, like there's a certain ask that celebrities have, and that you know, if me and Ross Matthews went for the same part, I get paid shit. Ross Matthews is guaranteed, you know, his bank, you know? Yeah. So, because that's how unions work. So that's the thing is, so Nini is like, you know, she's, that's what's going on with her. But Ramona is now in this like weird thing, and she's doing these scenes by herself. She goes with Rory, the matchmaker. Apparently Rory set her up with that Brian with the red scarf. So a couple of years ago now, there was this
scarf,
yes. So Brian with the red scarf, they called him Red Scarf Guy, and the thing was is like he and Ramona were getting along, but then apparently Bethany had also had a date with him at some point. So it was kind of like they do recycle the same guys between this group all the time. And like today was a who's who at that party too. It was like people from the past dates, past people from like. Oh, they kept on doing flashbacks of like, oh, so these people they're starting to build a universe in New York. It feels like, you know, a little bit more like Jersey in that sense. Yeah. But so then they showed her on that date with that weird man who doesn't like monogamy. Did you guys see that gross guy?
Yeah. Yes, I actually saw that episode, and I was just like, it was like a terrible date from hell. Like I felt so bad for her in that date. I was like, poor girls.
And like, wait, Rory set you up with that, and you're gonna try her again?
Yeah.
Girl.
Thank you.
Why are you doing this to yourself? It makes no sense. So, Okay, so what else happened here? Oh, so she's basically saying that she wants a man who can travel. Oh, so Ramona went on a date with a billionaire.
Yeah.
So she brought him back to her house, and he was like, "This is a nice place." He felt like you don't need a man, and she was like, "He didn't even see my place in the Hamptons," which I love, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's how this is. So, happy attracts happy. She wants something that's going to add worth to her life. Blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. So, is Ramona looking for a dude to step out of the show? You know, I don't know. I want season 8 Ramona back, the one where she was a little compassionate and a little spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get over to Sonia and Elise. They're meeting at Dakota Bar. Elise is already buzzed, and when they're sitting there talking, Elise is like, I'm like, she's feeling it right now.
She already admitted she was buzzed, I think, right? She's like, I'm buzzed.
Yeah. I got here early and I've been drinking, basically. You know?
She usually doesn't drink a lot either.
No, she's been the sober sister this whole time. So
yeah,
she got one in, and she still had her sense. She still had her wits about her. The things I took from this scene were Sonia says that she doesn't like Halloween because she can't recognize people all the time when they're under all the makeup.
She doesn't like to have to recognize people she doesn't know already. So
it's so stupid.
That's a really weird. That's a really weird justification of not liking Halloween, I think.
Okay, so that just tells you that Sonia got fucked by somebody in a mask that she thought was somebody else, and then she was like,
back in the 70s, she was at a cute party, and it didn't go her way.
Even bitch, this is 2018, not even back in the 70s. This woman is a mess. So, like, this happened recent.
Yeah.
But I love this whole thing where she's, I don't like to not know who they are when I go in. It's like that's part of the fun of Halloween. So what's it called? Elise basically just says that, she doesn't feel like Ramona has a need for her anymore. She doesn't have the big private jet. She doesn't have the yacht, and she can't do plastic surgery on Ramona. So what does she need her for? But Ramona went from having 50 good friends to 60, and now I got 70 good friends. Did you notice that?
The number changes all the time.
All the time.
The whole, every single time. I need a cross cut. You need to do a TikTok of a cross cut of them 70 friends, 50 friends. I have so many friends.
We have girlfriends.
We have a comment from Tomas. He says, "Go back to Turtle Beach, Ramona." Turtle time. Turtle time. So, okay. At this point, we got, so they basically, Elise is, saying that Ramona doesn't have a need for her. She did call her out, and she was like, this is bullshit that you're not, having me along for things and whatnot. And so Elise is starting to feel used. Then we cross over to a scene with Hannah and Jorinda. Okay. Hannah looks like an extra from Gossip Girl. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, oh, she belongs in another series. She belongs somewhere else.
Yeah.
And Jorinda's a good mom, gives her coat. It's such a mommy moment. You're going to be cold. That whole thing.
But they walked for 2 blocks. Was that really necessary?
Yeah.
That was just a little bit dramatic, I thought. I was like,
Well, she's an overbearing mother, and she has a skinny daughter, so protect those bones.
I like their gloves. Their gloves were cute.
What do they look like? I didn't even notice.
I didn't notice they have gloves.
I gotta look. I love the accessories.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jorinda's like, I come to this place all the time. You know what I like. And then she gives her whole order. Excuse me. And she's like, I need a burger with mayo, ketchup, all the sauces, those 3 other sauces in the back, put some jelly on it, and also the bun. And then, but you know what I like, and so, but that's a person after my own heart. I love the sauces. I will take all the sauces.
She was
for
super
everything.
annoying though. If I was waiting on her, I'd be annoyed because she would just run the fuck out of you. Like she'd be like, oh, can I get some ketchup? Great. And then you come back to the table. Anything else? Oh, I need some ranch. And then you're like, okay, cool, not a problem. And then you're like, anything else? Yeah, now I need this. I'm like, okay, can we collectively think our fucking thought before I come back, bitch?
Well, that's why they sit at the bar, because they know that bitch can hand them right
You know,
there.
and the guy gave her like all the sauces right there. I was like, damn. He's like, I'm not even fucking with this bitch today. Like, here you go.
Well, I have a feeling Jorinda's a good tipper. You know what I mean? Like, she feels like a person. She probably tips, like when she goes to a really nice place, she probably tips half the check. You know what I mean? Like, she feels like that type. Plus, she doesn't want to be talked shit about. So I have she's been around the block. Okay, so one of the things about this scene though is we see Hannah is so much like Jorinda, guys. Like the way that she talks, she's like she gives all of like the like parables, and she gives the the what do you call them, the illusions, and like she just basically you're like adrift at an ocean without an anchor, mom. And then she's like mixing up her sayings, and she's like, you were dealt a bad hand. You can't always get it straight, but you painted a pretty picture. What, Hannah? She went from talking about poker to talking about painting. Like where did this go in the middle? And it's like, oh, so if you start drinking Hannah, she probably sounds just like her mom. You're dealt a bad hand. You make your shit straight. So then we get another scene between Leah, Rob, and Kiki and Kier. Okay, we get it, Leah. You and Rob aren't sleeping together. We completely get it.
Right?
Like, and the thing is thou that doth protest too much is probably fucking the ex-husband. Like, they're still getting it in. When like Kiki's like at the recital, they're like, oh, you want to go do it in the bathroom? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and we know Leah's crazy, so Leah does that shit. So I'm into it. I think Rob is cute. So
he's alright.
Huh?
I said he's alright.
He's growing.
What did Gunther say? Oh, he's growing on you.
Throw it at him.
Yeah. See, but he looks like half this. I'm okay with that.
He's
so Nelson's like, he's taller than me.
Though. And like,
no, I was like, he seemed really short. I think I was taller than he was.
Yeah. Well, he was also. When you're standing next to Luann, like she's an Amazon. Like Luann could be like Wonder Woman because she's so tall and like she's built like an Amazonian woman, So like, but he was smaller than Leah too, and she probably had heels on. So who knows? I think he's kind of cute. He kind of looks like every guy that you would like see like on the subway in New York City that's like wearing Timbs and like a leather jacket. You're like, okay,
yeah,
I get it. Like so. But yeah, so they have that whole thing and basically just talking about their relationship with her mom some more, and it's like, we don't care, Leah. Do something better. Like, I'm over the conversation about her. Like, and now Leah's like, she's sober now, and like she's sharing that she's back in AA and stuff like that. So, was this season very responsible? And I also want to know. Okay, so sideline thought here. Let's go on the side. Did Bethany know how big of a mess everybody was, and that's why she stepped out? Because Bethany, well, like I asked this honestly because Bethany she's got to be concerned about Skinny Girl. And Skinny Girl is an alcohol brand, and she works with like Jim Beam and like and all these like big companies, and so I have a feeling there's like certain clauses they have, and like this was a past thing back when they were supposed to go to what do you call it? When they were supposed to go to Mexico, and she didn't want to bring Sonia because Sonia was drinking too much, and she didn't want to be responsible for that look while she was associating it with Skinny Girl. And the thing is this year we have everybody off the rails drinking as much as possible, and no mentions of Skinny Girl because she doesn't want to be associated. So I almost wonder, like, did she know that there was something, Luann was going to start drinking and all this, and she couldn't be part of that? Okay, he left. Oh, he's back.
No, I'm here.
I was like, she fell asleep.
No, I got a phone call, and I was like, what the fuck?
Didn't she sell funny. Skinny Girl though? I thought she sold it.
No, she still owns like a majority in the brand and the shares.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I mean, because she's like right now pushing. If you go to her like stories, she's pushing like her Skinny Girl jams.
Oh, okay.
I feel so bad for Bethany's daughter. You know, her daughter is always holding that camera. Like,
They
Bethany.
do TikToks together.
Yeah, but half the time it's like Bethany doing like the beginning of, what is it? The Sylvester Stallone movie. We Are So Gay.
Oh,
the one where
Rocky.
he boxes. Rocky, that's it. Yeah, Queen. So, but yeah, when Bethany's doing like the Rocky, like Eye of the Tiger, and she's like running around her house, and it's like she's like doing random things, and you're like, Brenna's running around with her camera. You know what I mean? Like she got this, like she has a 7-year-old running behind her, like, Mom, let's do it again. Get that shot, Mom. You know, so like, and like there's like this thing of like, so it's Bethany. She's sitting at her kitchen island, and she's like, we have new Skinny Girl jams. Can you believe it? We have Skinny Girl jams. You know, and then she's like making, like toast with it and like acting like it's like the best thing in the world with like stones next to her that she bought from like Ralph's. But like she's like it's just like this whole thing, like, so she's still in the game, Bethany. And so I just wonder if she's, she couldn't be associated. Her brand could not co-mingle with this big of a mess this year. And so but I feel like we're missing that. We're missing a Heather. We're missing a Carol. We don't have anybody who's responsible and tethered to reality to guide these women.
Yeah,
to like bring them back to your.
Yeah, they're all such hot messes this season.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the cab ride there between Jorinda, Sonia, and who was in the cab with them? Elise. When Sonia's grabbing her boob and they're all drunk on different levels. You know what I mean? Like Jorinda allegedly looks like the one, I say allegedly because I'm gonna say some real bad shit right now. But Jorinda looks like the one who knows to like not drink on an empty nose. You know what I mean? Like, so the thing is, so Jorinda's over here, she like did a line before she left the house, straightened herself up and was like, let's get there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so her makeup looked good. Elise was like, when you first get that little bit of buzz on, you're like, I'm feeling good. She was feeling cute in the middle seat, just kind of like, I'm so petite. And then we had Sonia, who's what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, so there was like 3 different stages of what the drunk people look like when you go to a bar. Like, it was like right there in the back of that car. It was like so perfect. Yeah, so we had this whole thing, everybody getting ready for like the party. Leah's gonna get her makeup done. She's gonna be at the hotel. So, this tells you Luann's ready for a good night because she got a hotel suite. She's getting makeup and hair done. She got a bed next door to the place the party is. Let's repeat that. She has a bed next door to the place where the party is. Luann don't fuck around when she coming to party. Okay, so and then I wrote here, this is the whitest voodoo party I've ever seen.
Right?
You have everybody dressing up like Marie Laveau and not one black person there. Bravo, fix it. Fix it, Bravo. We got to get this together now. Like, get some people of color on the Real Housewives of New York. We are in the middle of a melting pot city. Let's do it. It's time, And maybe this is what they'll do is they'll bring in a younger crowd right now. That'll be a little bit, I want a Puerto Rican girl. We need a Puerto Rican girl from New York on Real Housewives of New York. That has to happen.
Let's get Leah Remedy. No, Leah Remedy's not Puerto Rican though, right?
No, and she's in LA. And the thing is, Leah Remedy got money that we can't even talk about. Like, she got like pissed away money. She was giving all of her money to Scientology, and she still got some. And she was on network sitcoms for like years. That woman has that woman has money. She doesn't need this. She doesn't need this show. And I have a feeling like she would kill them all in the middle of the night and act like Scientology came and did it because like she'd be so over them.
You can get J-Lo. Get J-Lo on there. No,
yeah, that's another.
J-Lo would never do Housewives.
Hell no.
No, it's like we need a. I just feel like we need some new money and we need some real good old money. You know what I mean?
Rosie
like
Perez.
Yeah,
Rosie
like there
Perez,
we go.
Yes.
Yeah. And or even like a Daphne Rubin Vega.
Daphne Rubin Vega, yeah, because Daphne Rubin Vega's got roots in New York, like, and
Dream
she's a stage actress. Yeah.
Could you imagine Luann being like, I was supposed to be on Broadway, but Erica took my job. You know what I mean? Like having a conversation with one of them. Like Luann with a real actress, Luann would quit. Luann would be like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I'm supposed to be the star. I'm a cabaret star, don't you know? You know what I mean? So she stole that from Sonia, because as I've been watching the old episodes, Sonia had Cabriolet first. It was hers, and she even was doing like appearances. And then, you know, what's it called? Luann had one hit song, and she took it like it just ran. And that's because
Giovanni.
So, yeah, she's got. Well, it was the first one was Monday Camp Fire Class.
My friend.
My friend. Okay, so Ramona gets to the party at 7:30.
What time does the party
Ramona
start?
8:30.
Oh, she got an hour early.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So that's one of the lines underneath here too, is that Ramona always has somewhere better to go. And so she was going to go to Omar's. Another gentleman that she's friends with had a table there. She was going to Omar. She's going to Omar. She's going to Omar's. She has other things going on. So she group texted everybody that, hey, let's get there at 7:30 so she can bounce early. And like, Luann's like, my party doesn't start till 8:30. That's when dinner's being served. Like, it's not like somebody's house.
Yeah, it's not
and
like
so
Ramona, up. Yeah.
Yes, so Ramona was commandeering this party for her own. Like, she was just like, oh, this is my party now. See ya. And so, but she showed up with Missy. Okay, now let's go into history. So this is something for you, Nelson. Missy has been a friend of Real Housewives for years now. She was in season 1. Okay, so we had some of these sideline players who have always been around. Elise has always been around. She's been a background player. Jorinda was a background player from seasons 1 through 4, and then Jorinda actually started doing a little bit more in like season 5 or 6 is when Jorinda actually was cast in the show. So some of these girls have had like long-standing relationships with Ramona, and then they eventually get absorbed into the show. Missy's one of those anomalies that has never gotten into the show because Missy's a hoe. Okay, so allegedly, but the thing is so like Missy, I think she likes the fact that she can creep around the Upper East Side with whatever man she wants to and just kind of gets away with it. What happened a couple of years ago was when Luann got married to Tom, Tom's ex was Missy. And the whole thing was with this whole, like, was he with this ex? And then there was even like things, did they show that scene here where Tom was hitting on Missy? No,
I don't think so.
No, they just showed up with his ring and like getting used to it.
Yeah, but that was talking to Missy because Missy was his ex-girlfriend at the time. So Missy was invited to Luann and Tom's, what do you call it? Their engagement party. Yeah, it was an engagement party on a yacht. Okay, so Tom was at this yacht with his new fiance, okay, which is Luann, and he dated Ramona for a moment. Like, Ramona claims it was 6 or 7 dates. He says it was 1. I think they were just fucking, but allegedly. And then you also have and then he also had been a regular hookup partner for Sonia for 10 years. He was a booty call for Sonia. So this is Tom. So he's got 3 exes there, and then Missy shows up. So he's had 4 women there at his engagement party that he's been sleeping with, like within that same year. That's the crazy part of it. Okay, so now Ramona shows up at this party with Missy on her arm to Luann's party. That's a move. That's a move. Okay, that's a power move on Ramona's side. She didn't need to bring Missy with her. Missy with that fake Stevie Nicks voodoo looking like number on. But it was shady of her. And then you also have like this whole thing that they were bringing back all these people. Like Big Ron shows up. Like, Ramona, you're still into this dude? Really? You know, the one who showed up at the Tinsley thing. I don't get that one. Like she had problems with John all this time, and now Big Ron shows up. Like, come on. Ramona, yes, I wrote she wants to leave early. She has another party. And then they were shady here because they showed 8:05 and they showed Jorinda, Sonia, and Elise just getting into the car. So Ramona's been at this party since 7:30.
By herself.
Yeah, we already talked about this. That Sonia I was getting lit with my hair and makeup. So she had all that going on. Ramona. So we have all these all-stars that have been on this other episode. So Andrew shows up, which he's usually really cute. That beast wig, like he was being like the prince from Beauty and the Beast, was not cute on him. No. And when she poked him in the stomach, and she didn't know that was really him because he had gained weight. And she was like, what's going on here? And she pokes him in the stomach, and he was like, well, I'm in love and I'm happy, which means like he's happy. So he don't got to go to the gym anymore, Ramona. Like, he got a man. Like, so, and Ramona's like, what? That was him? Okay, sideline story. So this happened back in college. So my friend, I'm gonna call her out, Lindsay Moyer. So anyway, so Lindsay, I'm gonna give this to her later. So they were in On the 20th Century. So it's a musical. Have you ever seen it, Gunther?
20th Century?
Yeah.
No.
On the 20th Century. It's basically about a big train. And so when you're doing these kind of shows when you're in college, the chorus is played by like 10 people, and then they play all the other roles, and then you have like your principals. Where there was this, so everybody was playing all these different roles. So you were, I wasn't in the show, but like, so to speak, that, in one scene, I'm the conductor. In the next scene, I'm the mayor. And so they would give you like jackets and things. So you'd be a bigger person, maybe more heavy. You were maybe a pregnant girl in one scene. You were a secretary in the next. So it was that kind of thing. So my friend Lindsay, she goes up to this one girl. I'm not gonna say this girl's name, but she goes up to her and she's like, "What's this?" And she pokes her in the belly. and this girl looks at her and goes, "It's me." She wasn't wearing any foam or any body modification. She just really was that big. My friend was like, "Oh," it was like slow motion, like took the belly away, like there was still an indentation in the other girl's belly from the finger. It was all slow motion. So awkward. But so those moments do really happen in real life, and Ramona pulled one of those. Happy moment here. We have Jill Zarin back for a moment.
Yay.
I wish Jill would have gotten into the fro a little bit more. You know what I mean? They only referenced her.
It seemed like she was.
Yeah, because she was like, "What's going on with Jorinda?" That she just comes in attacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I miss me some Jill. Jill left on a really bad note, but it feels like she softened up. And the thing is Jilly has fuck you money. You know what I mean? Like Jill really does have a bank account.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things.
Aww. I think she's totally different now too. Now that Bobby's passed away, so she's a totally different person.
She is. And Ginger died too. Ginger.
Yeah.
So she's got a new dog.
Seems like she's more down to earth now.
Yeah. Her new guy is actually like in pictures. He's like an attractive older gentleman. Like he's not like ugly. You know what I mean? So she found somebody with money that's not ugly. So that's a good thing on her. Oh, we have a hello from somebody. Jason Coleman said hello. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
AKA DJ Jack J. Go listen to his mixes if y'all haven't heard him. Hey, Jay. Okay. So anyways, going on in here, Jorinda, she had this whole thing that she went up to, what's it called? Ramona, and she was like, "Is Larry charging you?" You know what I mean? She's having this conversation. And when Ramona doesn't want to have the conversation, she goes, "Are you drunk?"
Yeah.
And now that's a touchy subject for Miss Jorinda, because Jorinda's usually drunk. And today she's not. The thing is Jorinda had her line before she left the house. She is right. Like, so, allegedly.
Yeah.
We have Rob. He gets there. He meets the girls. We already talked about this. He's too short. Oh my God, Jorinda with that moment when she goes, "Why didn't you two work out?"
Yeah.
They did the Vanderpump Rule, like everything stops,
Awkward.
moment.
Yeah.
And then she was like, just joking. But Jorinda really wanted to know. So, anyways, we have Sonia. She's trashed. She should have went to bed. And she's just, "Hey, how are ya?" To every single person as she walks through. She's got that exchange with Leah about being a weirdo. You're a weirdo. No, you're a weirdo.
Oh my God, I thought something weird was gonna happen. It was very almost reminiscent of the Lisa Rinna Kim Richards scene, where it was like, is this gonna go really bad? Like, I didn't know what was going on. So
well, it was like, I think Leah was like, "I'm a weirdo," and then when she looked in those drunk eyes, she was like, "She's not here. I can't do this." You know what I mean? Like, it was just It was.
I understand drunk Sonia talk. She goes, "I understand sober Sonia talk."
Exactly. So she wasn't speaking the same language, and she saw those eyes and went, oh, we're on different levels. You aren't checking in. It was that whole realization. So then she just kind of let her talk. And she's like, when they show on the bottom, like they are now captioning all of Sonia's phrases because you can't barely understand what she's saying because she's so slurred out. And she's like, let's be divisive. Let's be inclusive. And they show like 18 U's.
Right.
Like the word inclusive. I was like, oh, she's on one. It was too funny. Okay, so Dorinda, Jorinda had Hot William there, you know, so another past person that we've seen in other episodes who, what's it called? Ramona likes pretty men, and this guy's very pretty, and so Ramona moves around seats, and that whole exchange was so uncomfortable because Dorinda's just like, oh, what aren't you happy that I invited my friend William? And Ramona's just cold out, like just she's complete pissed. Like she's pissed, she's not going to engage, and she knows it's going to make her more pissed. And so she knows too that Dorinda will make an ass out of herself, so she'll just leave it alone, like let her be crazy. And then Dorinda does. When Dorinda stands up and does that toast, most awkward thing, like, so does anybody else have a friend when they show up and they say something that they don't like? And they say, are you drunk?
I lived for it. I thought it was amazing. I was like, damn, way to call shit out, man. I was like...
Okay, my favorite thing though here is that when she was like, why you do that? And then like you hear, and this whole time, Sonia's eating with a ladle.
Yes.
And she's just like, and Sonia's repeating everything after her, but making it personal, like at a church. Just like, why do you do that to Sonia? Why did you do that to me? You know, like, you're terrible to Sonia. You're terrible to me. Like, she's just like back and forth. That whole moment, it was like, it's like, you know, like when you have like the evil guy and his henchman. Sonia was the henchman, and she was just, you know, the hype man. Like, yeah, you suck. You know what I mean? Like the whole time. It's really just back and forth. And Luann gets up, let's cheers. That's not a happy Halloween. So like, we're done with this conversation. So, and we have Elise tells Ramona that she loves her. It's that like that awkward, you know, like Elise is just trying to like, you're my friend. Let's be friends. Get over this, you know. And Ramona's still not engaging. I've been through a lot right now. I don't need it. I don't, you know, like what exactly have you been through, Ramona? Because you've had a pretty skatey season right now, you know. And so there's that whole thing. And then this is when in that confessional, she brings up Elise's thing, and we have Avery like walking into the room. I love this. And like Avery's like, why are you talking about her? You're just always talking about your friends. Just stop, Mom. And she's like washing her hands. It's like, okay. It's just like that's why we need to bring her in. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind if we brought back Tinsley and Dale and Ramona and Avery. Like, let's bring the moms and the daughters. Let's have a moment. I think it would work. When you have family on these shows, we know it works. Kyle and Kim. We had what's her name?
Teresa, Melissa.
Teresa and Melissa, and that used
Carolyn and Dina.
Carolyn, Dina, and Jackie, because those were all related, you know. Like, so there, it's an extra layer. So like, let's bring them on. Let's bring the girls. You know, let's see how this all like shuffles down. I love too. There was like a moment there where, what is it? Oh, who would give Jorinda a knife?
After that speech, who would give her a knife? And she's carving the pig. I like how they're like I like how you're carving the pig.
So it was just so weird. Like, and they had like, what are you doing in my seafood tower? And it's like a full octopus that hasn't even been cooked. They just threw on top of it. Like, what is going on with the health food?
Leah's obsession with like table decor too. I wants to ruin everything.
I wouldn't have ate any of that stuff that was on the table. I mean, it looked really cool, but there's no way I would have ate anything that was on that table.
Okay, I have a feeling like this is like a thing with Leah, and like this probably goes back to her mom, because Leah has a problem that she doesn't, you know, she wants Ramona to be her mom, and that's why she gets along with Ramona, and she gets along with Jorinda, and then she has an issue with her own mother. So I have a feeling her mom used to have like really nice little parties and have like centerpieces and stuff. And this is stuff that Leah always wanted to do, was like knock stuff over and like, I hate you, mom. And like now that she's like in these spaces where it's like it's the same decorations that her mom used to have, it's like, I'm gonna tear this wall down, you know? Like Leah's unhinged. This is what makes a good housewife, you know what I mean? And so, and it's so funny because like I went from like loving Leah at the very, very beginning. The first couple episodes, it was like, this bitch is in, she's locked in. Now it's like, Leah's crazy. Like, she's like a Vanderpump Rules person that you don't gotta love her, you just gotta like watching her. Like, because like there's something crazy behind the eyes. Like, she might have a knife in her pocket and she's gonna stab one of these girls all of a sudden. Like, you know.
Butterfly knife.
I don't apologize for stabbing you. I apologize for bringing the knife. Like, you know, like she's that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, when she tells you should go out with Rob. He has a huge dick. like in that conversation, I was like, oh, okay. So Rob just got a bunch of people in his DM. You know. Because you know that happened. Like last night, people were like, "Oh, Rob has a big one. Find his Instagram. Send him a DM. Send him a DM." You know. So it kind of crescendo there. We have Ramona, who just was like, she's done. She's done with this party. She's leaving. Her and Missy go over to Omar's. It was a little crazy too, because like Leah drunk? She's like all over Rob, and then he's like, I don't know how we got, you know, how this became my life or whatever. And it's like, yep. Because you're on a reality show, bitch. Like, yeah. And it has to be imposing too, because he's like so much smaller than all the other girls. Right. Like, it's just like these like gargantuan women around him. So it was a cute episode. I just hope when we bring in some of these other people, like if we're bringing back some of this Jill Zarin, some of this Heather Thompson, that we get some sober tethered moments, because it's just, they are wild right now, and I don't think they can sustain this. They can't sustain this crazy momentum. And the show is no longer about relationships, really. It's just about the women, and they're pushing into the stuff. I think that's one of the reasons why Leah and Rob is such a storyline, is because they're trying to make something happen there, because everybody else is single. I mean, everybody's single right now. Nobody has anybody, so it's just it's a thing. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes. You know, and now that we see that they're going to be doing all these confessionals with the, what do you call it? That from home. Yeah. Like Potomac, which we also got taglines for Potomac this week. So we'll be watching that on Binge Bitches, because there is nothing else to watch. Plus Potomac is fucking good. Potomac is really like, they got their shit together this last season. And so, which means they're probably going to have all of their confessionals are probably going to all be Zoom calls as well. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes.
My friend texted me, and she was like, "Why are their confessionals so weird?" And I'm like, "They're filming from home." Like usually they're in front of a green screen in the studio.
I was like, these green screens are really awful. I was like watching the confessionals, but I was like, oh yeah, they're fucking at home. I was like, so because even the sound was a little bit off too. You're like, these are really bad. What's going on? Like,
well, the thing was too is like there's like these random like ways that they were like showing them, is that like in the confessional, it's like Luann's like this, and she's like, so like she's like yelling at the thing, and you're just like,
you're like, that's a lot of space.
Like she
Did
said,
you
like
notice
she said it.
Luann's picture too, in the one, like it's like a modeling picture of her back in the day.
Oh yes, in her background, like on her thing, like she like put a picture of herself, and she's like, that's like, what I used to be.
Oh my god.
That's before I was Nurse Luann. Do you know she was a nurse? Like she like Luann was a nurse, and then she became a model. Yeah, and then she became a TV show host in like Italy. Like Luann has a life. Like that's a life lived. So there's some respect there. It's cute. So anyways, I'm gonna, before we wrap it up today, Drag Race. Have you guys watched any of Canada? I have not yet.
No, I haven't watched Canada yet. No, it just debuted. So
debuted last night, and then tonight, are we gonna get a new episode of Drag Race?
Yeah, we get Drag Race. We get Snatch Game tonight.
Because it's a holiday, so we're still
Snatch Game of Love.
Oh, RuPaul, man.
Oh,
RuPaul
is that hot guy from the Love Simon.
Oh, really?
Love Simon or Love Victor, one of them.
He's one of those loves. I well, that's gonna be fun. Snatch Game is always a good thing. Except I don't love this. I don't love Snatch Game of Love. I like the panel more.
I know, I like the
I
panel
like the
more.
panel
Yeah,
too.
Snatch Game of Love is like, but I mean, maybe for All Stars, that's how they like it. So we'll see.
They didn't really show
so.
anyone either, so you don't know who anyone's gonna be.
Which is good.
I know. I looked at spoilers ahead of time, so I.
Oh, did you?
So I know.
You're like, I know who wins.
Jake Lay's gonna be Flavor Flav, and Alexis Mateo's gonna be Walter Mercado.
You guys are hearing it here first.
Yeah, Blair St. Clair's supposed to be Ellen DeGeneres. Cracker's gonna do Gaga.
Oh no, Cracker's doing Gaga.
Yeah, India's gonna do Jeffree Star.
Problematic. That's in the news. That's really timely.
Right.
Ooh.
Who else is?
She didn't know that was gonna happen.
Who else is left? I think I said 5 girls, right?
Who's Juju?
Oh, Juju's gonna do Eartha Kitt, which I just feel like everyone's done it. Like, I mean, what's her face did it? Chi Chi did it, then Valentina did it. So it's just like, I'm tired of Eartha Kitt, man. Like,
but she can do it well, because the thing is if Cracker's doing Gaga, Gaga's one of those characters that nobody's ever won doing.
You can't do Gaga though. That's the thing. I hope she does miserable and goes home because I'm over Cracker. So.
Well, what's his face did Gaga?
Fifi did Gaga,
did it,
and Sonique did Gaga too. And it was not great. It didn't work out for them. So
did Alyssa do Gaga, or she just did Katy Perry?
No, she did Katy Perry. Too? Yeah, and then she did Joan Crawford on All Stars, which was amazing. So
that's what it was. Okay, so that's the thing is so that'll be back. But how about all this information, this stuff about RuPaul right now in the news? She shut down her Instagram, shut down Twitter.
Ugh.
She doesn't want to answer questions about fracking because she talked about it she talked about it in an interview. They ran the bite. Yes. So basically, RuPaul.
What is fracking though? Like, what? I'm confused.
It's basically taking oil out of the ground, but it's not doing it in a healthy way for the environment.
Oh.
So if you want to so the thing is, so her and her husband have those lands out in Montana. There's oil there, and so they are actively doing that. But the thing is if it's a hard way to take it environmentally conscious way, you know what I mean? It's not really happening. So if there were to happen to be a really bad accident out there, and they have a oil problem, if it goes into a little pond or something like that, they can kill a bunch of stuff. So it's a thing. It's unethical in some ways. People have different views on it. You know what I mean? Depends on if you're making money off of it. But with that, she talks about it, which is a little bit controversial. And then Rue never said anything about Black Lives Matters.
She didn't say anything. She didn't come out to say to support or anything. So, and we've heard rumors of her not being super supportive of trans issues or trans people, because they said they had issues, with Gia Gunn being on the show, or queens like Peppermint coming back and Sonique coming back.
Well, it's been known that some of these girls too, that they've been quoted in saying, the ones who've been trans and that they get on the show, they don't really disclose. Your Peppermint was out. She was an out trans woman. But she didn't disclose that when she first got on, and she made it a thing in her halfway through. Monica Beverly Hills, same thing. And so it's become this thing that some of these people, Gia Gunn is also a ball of problems in her own issues. You know what I mean?
Right now, for sure. She's super problematic.
COVID's a hoax and that kind of shit. And I worked with her last year. She turned it. She was great.
Yeah, we love Gia. She's great, but she's just being really irresponsible.
I can't love her right now. I can't love her right now. You have too much influence on young minds and things like that. And not only that, but she also touches. And her fan base is a lot of people of color that don't necessarily get the right information all the time. And then she's putting out extra stuff, and she's got a huge Brazil, she's got a South American audience. She did so she's saying this shit, and people in Brazil are dying. So not to be political, we're going there again, but whatever.
No, but I wanted to say too, the only thing too that is for RuPaul to not come out and say anything or to run away from everything right now is not great, because she's the one that usually tells these queens on Drag Race you need to face your problems head on. Remember when Adore left All Stars, she's like, I don't see you being strong. I don't see that being so for her to like preach that to people, but then not practice it herself, sends the wrong message out, you know? So
it's that part. It's a little bit of like, Rue is becoming to drag queens what J.K. Rowling became to witches. You know what I mean? Like they are ruining their own legacy. You've been around. You did some amazing shit. Like J.K. Rowling, same boat. You created a universe, a safe place for young people to go and release their thoughts and to, you know, that's what J.K. Rowling did. You know what I mean? She gave these kids an escape. Same thing with RuPaul. She gave these little queer kids and these kids who color with all the crayons, she gave them a safe space. And then when push comes to shove, they say things or they, by inaction, kind of throw away their legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That your show every fucking week, people come out and carry register to vote little things.
Yeah.
And at the top of your show, it's going to say, like, you know, call this number for Breonna Taylor, blah, blah, you know what I mean? And you had this problem last year not last year, a month ago with Sherry Pie.
Yeah.
And she never acknowledged any of that either. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and
it's
we
better.
talked about that on Binge Bitches too when we did the special Drag Race, you know, commentary. Like they needed to address it and they never did. So, you know, cut to us 5 years from later, you know, like Jeffrey Epstein's got his docuseries out right now. We're going to get the RuPaul Sherry Pie docuseries and what happened that year, you know, they're finally going to come out and clean with it. But it's like, you need to address it right now, not 5 years from now. You know, not, you know, so.
Well, the thing, I mean, that's the thing. Rue, like, I mean, if you listen to our podcast and like you kind of do your research on Rue doesn't like to mingle with people. Rue is not into being around people. She likes to pull back. You know what I mean? Like in her podcast, she talks about she wakes up 3 o'clock in the morning to go to, you know, to Sprouts at 4 a.m. so she can get her groceries before anybody's out. You know what I mean? That's what she wants to do. And the thing is, and she's built herself a good life. I do not fault her for any of that, because the thing is if I can build a comfortable life and like have 2 houses in LA, one next to the studio, one other one to keep my cars, hell, I would fucking do it. But the thing is when it comes to these issues right now, is like it takes nothing for her to retweet. It takes nothing for her to just put up a picture of Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, we're looking for our hero, the person that we look up to the most, or that a lot of people are influenced by. Even not just the gay community, you know, the straight community looks at this well too, like because they look at RuPaul's like, oh, we love her, you know, because
all those women, all those moms,
all those housewives are like, oh, we love RuPaul, so she gives a voice to those women though too. So it's just like she needs to come out, she needs to do something just to prove that she really is a leader right now. And who knows, maybe her mental health is at stake right now, you know, given the pandemic, given, you know, everything that's going on. I understand that, but then come out and then say that though to them. Be like, you know what?
You know what though? At the same time, RuPaul is a brand. She's a product. It's like any other celebrity. She's not doing her shit herself. There's other people that are also involved that are putting out information that are, you know, that are management and that kind of a thing. And so if by this inaction, it's kind of like, it's a little crazy, you know. In the last, it's like, I want to go there. So in like the last week, we've had 8 different Black trans women murdered. Okay.
Yeah.
Like this is like happening right now. And a leader like RuPaul should be out there and she should be talking about this. And she's not doing it. So all her kids are, though, her legacy is,
her legacy is like you've got Bob out there, you've got Peppermint, you've got
Monique Hart. I mean, like
Monique
the thing
Hart,
is and Brooklyn Heights, you know what I mean? Like you have these people that are out there right now doing the work, and the thing is, and it's like, but mother doesn't have the time, you know? And so it's ruining the legacy, and it's like, we don't want to see this happen. This is a gay hero, a gay icon, somebody who has never done what she's done before. RuPaul is doing something and has done something that has broken down barriers. It has created some amazing careers. A lot of people make money off of that machine. You know what I mean? Like this trickles down to friends of ours that are in LA that are making dresses for these bitches, that are putting wigs together, that are taking pictures, photographers. Then they influence our pocketbook because, you know, we get the trickle down effect. If Trixie Mattel is hosting the party that we're dancing at, we gonna have more people in the house. You know what I mean? So the thing is so this does directly affect like everything. RuPaul's Drag Race affects bar sales one night a week. You know what I mean? Like we know when RuPaul's Drag Race is happening, that if a club is having, or if a bar is having a viewing party, the place is going to have people there. People want, you know, and so that's a legacy. RuPaul has created something so fucking amazing, but right now she's just tearing it down. It's the J.K. Rowling effect. Is like you can only go up until there's a certain point where it's like maintain or treat it, you know, like just do something well with it. Like you know, you've these other people who, you know, they've maintained their integrity, and then they've also, like, you know, on Octavia Spencer, she's still badass. She got shows, streaming, movies here and there. And the thing is, but she's still using the voice. She's still saying something. You know what I mean? And she's keeping the conversation going. And that's all that this would need to happen. And she's not showing up for the community. You know, and it's a little bit like, come on, Ru, do better. Like fix it.
especially during the month of Pride. I mean, I know that Pride month is technically over, but other places like, you know, we're in San Diego, we have Pride coming up in 2 weeks, you know, and other places around the world have their Prides too. So it's like, you gotta do it. So
yeah, it's just, come on, like really, it's like you're one of the A gays. Like you really are. I think she probably is. She's like top. She's the top gay right now in the country. Yeah, and she's like left everybody hanging. So that's that part. Anyways, so let's just finish this up real quickly. So just real quickly, what are you guys binging right now? What have you guys been watching this week? Suggestion. You haven't been watching any new series?
I've been going back watching Glee.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
She's doing comfort food.
Yeah.
I love it. We're catching up on The Politician. So
nice.
I'm doing a little bit of that. And then last night I started that Warrior Nun. And so it's on Netflix. If you like stuff like Sucker Punch and like Harley Quinn,
gotcha.
It's good. It'll be fun.
We've been
what are you watching?
We've been doing Legendary on HBO. Love, so fun. It's the ballroom scene. So I'm not sure if it's like really binge worthy, but we keep up with it. And then I love World of Dance. World of Dance is out right now with, you know, J-Lo and Neo and Derek Hoff. And so I mean, I love a good reality show, competition show, I should say, other than the Drag Race. So
what are you loving? Anything else about HBO Max? What's the selling point of that besides those series?
We've been watching Legendary. I haven't seen the new Anna Kendrick thing. You get everything else that you would with it, I guess. And, you know, you get like Looney Tunes, you get Steven Universe, all that stuff.
And Friends and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, all those other bingeable things that I guess you would watch, like if you just wanted something on.
Big Bang Theory.
I need to find a reason to
I'm not watching Big Bang Theory.
Go there.
That's too white for me. That's too.
I never got into it, but I know that it's on there.
Like I said, they said the girl worked at Cheesecake Factory and the uniform was wrong. I'm done. I'm out. Okay.
It's actually it is comfort. Like, so Big Bang I did watch like when it first like came out like a while ago, and the thing is then I dropped away, and then it was like on for like another 7 years, and then I picked it up a little bit, and so it's comfort food. It's like it's something that you can watch with your parents. What are you guys bitching about? What do you guys hate? Do you guys see anything this week that you guys hated?
San Diego County.
San Diego County.
Anything that I'm over? I don't know. COVID. Yeah, over COVID, over stupid people.
Who is not?
Wear a mask.
Totes. Okay, so today we've had a very, very cute day, so we're gonna wrap this one on up. You guys want to follow Gunther Vanderpump? You guys can follow him on IG and TikTok at Gunther Vanderpump. And so she's got a bunch of videos. She puts up like 18 videos a day, and like I don't know how you have
none today because she hung over as AF.
Yeah, nothing's getting done today.
How many times do you watch a video before you can get the lip sync down? Like.
Oh,
because that's the thing. I don't get it. Like, I'm like, how do you know all the words? Because you have great lip syncing skills. You're gonna be a queen one day. Like, you really need to like start getting tips.
I watch them tons of times. And sometimes I put the words up. Like, I'll have, if it's really long, I have the words
smart.
hanging up.
Ew.
Oh, really?
Good job.
That's like really. That's
we're getting good tips here. We're getting good tips here.
See, because the thing is, it's like I'll do a couple of them. If there's like 2 things that I have to do, then it's like, okay, I can lip sync this. And I'm like, you know, like the boom, bitch. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? But you're like, okay, let me talk like B. Arthur for 20 minutes. And I'm like, how does this bitch know all the words? So it's the whole thing. Okay, and then also you guys can follow Nelson on IG at Yas Queen with 2 A's, 3 S's, and a KW. And so the other thing about Nelson is Nelson, you can see his butt on IG. So that's something. And then, so
much anywhere.
Other than that, subscribe to Binge Bitches on YouTube because, you know, please subscribe to it. Other than that, you guys can find me at Dangilo Go on Instagram, Dangilo on TikTok. You guys can find me on Facebook, all kinds of things. Again, subscribe and like this video. Thank you guys so much. Thank you too for joining me today for this. Mwah. And I think next week we have a Beverly Hills and a New York, so we're back to normal. So
do we?
I think so. I think next week is their week back.
Girl, it's been on my calendar, okay?
He's got a heart around it.
I'm marking down the day.
He called off of work. Like he was like, I cannot close tonight. So, well, the thing is and they're also doing all these confessionals right now. So I have a feeling they are editing the shit out of this season. Let's see what we get. And we also have all these. Like Beverly Hills is also bringing out their all-stars. You know what I mean? So we got the Brandy and Camille coming back and all that. So it should be good. So thank you guys so much. We will have another conversation next week. Love you guys. Good night from the lower level.
Bye.
Mwah.